That was Fade, performed acoustically here at the Idobi Radio Studios. It's off of Alien Ant Farm's brand new record, Mantras, and I could not be more honored right now. Stoked is an understatement. I have Alien Ant Farm live in studio with me right now. What's up, guys? How are you?
Hey,
good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Let's go around in a circle real quick and introduce ourselves.
Hey, I'm Terry, and I play guitar.
Dryden singing.
I'm Timmy, and I play the bass.
I'm Michael Richard Cosgrove, and I play the drums. Bateria.
Hell yeah. And collectively, Alien Ant Farm, one of the coolest bands to ever exist. I'll just start off the interview like that. And obviously the music is dope, but something that I find even cooler, first record called Greatest Hits, the EP called 100, or the demo called $100 demo tape. And
that one just kind of almost got named that because
it was $100.
Yeah,
demo
it was
tape,
$100 to make.
It's kind of nameless, but yeah, it is that what you just said.
Some people might think like it costs $100, but it actually costs us $100 to make it. Was why we started calling it $100 tape.
That sounds like it.
We really had to pull that money together.
So, before we get into Mantras, the brand new record, which is absolutely incredible. It's the first record in 9 years from you guys, right?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So very excited about that. Just off the bat, I just want to ask what it was like coming up in the Southern California scene when, for me personally, my knowledge is just more skater punk, like skate rock type music. And you guys did not necessarily get into that genre. It's a little more new metally and harder in my opinion.
Maybe, but you know, when you say that, I think that like Mike and Terry, they got their wiggles out in that in the punk and what you're talking about a little bit before Ant Farm. You know what I mean? So maybe it's in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe, but yeah. So didn't.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But, like, there's bands like I remember listening to Agent Orange when I was super young. So I was kind of into skateboarding and getting into music kind of via skateboarding. So, yeah, we definitely dipped our toes in there. And actually what we wanted to do.
It's kind of hard to avoid where we live.
I got like a safety pin in my ear and I was ready.
That's awesome. And you guys being one of the more influential bands, I would say, over the years. And now, after 5 million records sold, what is this? It's a 6th studio album or 5th studio album?
I'm not sure. What is it?
I think it's fifth.
I'm getting 5 and 6 mixed up because I know
It's
5
fifth.
million sold.
It depends on
No.
if you count greatest hits or not.
Yeah, because so label released album is what it is. The fifth
5,
one,
right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. But either way, it's 11 solid tracks. And in my opinion, it's a very different album from what I've previously heard from you guys, where you guys are kind of honing in and really, really crushing this post-rock sound, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to misgenre it, but when I listen to the record, it just brings me back to the 90s in such a cool way.
I don't know if that was intentional. Terry throws a riff over and we just start building the thing, or what we think of as pleasant and ripping and cool. Did you have a direct thought going into it?
No.
I kind of did not, so I don't know.
No, I remember Terry though saying early on that he was like kind of wanted to write like a more guitar-driven record. You know what I mean? So not that we wouldn't, because these are like the 4 elements that we mainly have, but it just seemed like there was kind of like lacking, or not that we're trying to save some fucking rock and roll thing or whatever, but it was just, I remember him saying that kind of early on.
Yeah. Well, it was like we did all these records, with like producers and stuff, and even when we did Always in Forever, we really kind of tried getting outside of our box. We were writing with co-writers and like dudes that and like urban co-writers, rock, like everything, and it was fun to kind of do that, and we can say we did, but this record just, I felt like it seemed like, I don't know, it just seemed like it was in the air that we kind of need to like go back to being ourselves, and I think just producing ourselves in a way, and doing the guitar rock album is just kind of somehow we fell back into the way we were, and it's hard to explain.
I think it's smarter. Everyone's more evolved and more mature. So I've seen some comments just that it might not be as like exciting or something, but I totally beg to differ. It's like it's just slicker. Everybody knows like how to produce a record on their own almost. You know what I mean? We know what we want. I remember just kind of throwing my vocals out a few takes and just leaving to go party back in the day, and now just editing my own vocals and really like getting into like what, you know, how do you really want this to like slither through the song rhythmically and all that stuff that maybe accidentally happened in the first go around because just the talent was kind of there. I don't mean it in a way that, oh, we're so talented, but it tends to work out, you know what I mean? Even if you are effed up or whatever, sometimes a cool song just comes. But I was way more conscious of just making it right, I guess. Whatever the style, just making it right.
For sure. And now, over the last 9 years, while you guys weren't putting out any records, were you guys demoing any Alien Ant Farm stuff, or was there any times you like had a riff or an idea and you just like put it in a folder? You're like, this might be cool for when we decide to put something out again.
There's always a ton of ideas that come flowing in, almost too many to even like kind of to corral, but in a good way.
There's hundreds.
Yeah, and thanks to the pandemic, there's a bit of that on this record. You know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff that got put down before the pandemic, and then during it, you know, because we kind of went our ways during that whole mess, and we saw a lot of people trying to work or whatever, and I think we just felt it was best to kind of sit and take a break, maybe.
Because we had done 4 of these songs
Before.
pre-pandemic, and then when we came back, all that stuff kind of went awry, and we were originally going to do like an EP, and then they had asked us to deliver a whole record, and then it just kind of like stretched out, and I think a lot of stuff happened in our lives, and so it was kind of a weird way that it all came out, but I'm glad the way that it happened, because if we would just like rushed a record, I don't think it would have been what we have right now. So
well, it wouldn't have been the guitar record you're talking about.
No,
it would have gone. No, but I'm just saying the 4 songs we did, which I love on this record, the 4 songs we did pre-pandemic are a little more in that out of our box kind of realm, and I'm glad to hell that they're in on the record. But I'm glad that the record didn't just follow those 4 songs, and they probably would have.
We all did some growing too during the pandemic. You know, like so much stuff happens, and it all kind of goes into the chili. You know what I mean? And
it is cool to like bookmark a record. I don't know that I want to like elongate the process, but it was cool to like pause, because you got 2 very different results from doing that. You know what I mean? I like the idea of maybe next time we do something in the Stephen King realm when he did like Green Mile. Remember when he put out like chapters 1 through 3 in a little book, and then 3 through 6 in another book? The book originally came in 6 parts, so it would be kind of cool to put out a record in 3 pieces or something like that. You know what I mean? So maybe it's like all 4 seasons or something, 3 songs per season. I'm going to trademark that. So
I like that idea.
I think it could be cool.
And I can't wait.
And I feel like that's what we did in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Granted, it was like 15 or 16 seasons, but
a good way to keep a record going.
Yeah.
It's a great way to keep a series going by adding seasons.
Yeah. Dude, that Green Mile was brilliant when he did that. Like nobody was doing that back then.
So sick. And
and
now you guys had a lot of success, what people will consider early on, but I want to ask you about that, because the band was a band for about 7 years before the whole thing with Smooth Criminal and American Pie, right?
I don't know how long, but I mean,
like 95 is like kind of when we first started playing shows as Ant Farm, right?
So maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
And Smooth Criminal, here's the thing about it. We did a few covers in the early days.
We used to try and do a different cover every time we played.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
But that kind of
doesn't. And then we tried to do. We thought about it, a Weezer song here or there, which is just a band that we love. We were like, we're not going to do a Weezer song like on a record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then when we thought about recording something, we wanted it to be our version in a way, I guess, the homage of like bringing a song that isn't rock and roll into our forum. So we tossed around Easy Lover by Phil Collins and Phil Bailey, which then we almost did it with CeeLo. I don't know what happened. We were supposed to do. He was going to do the "She's the kind of girl you dream of."
The Philip Bailey parts,
Yeah,
the falsetto.
Anyways, we were gonna we tossed around the idea of recording Easy Lover. Like, I don't know, does that really slap the way that Smooth Criminal slaps? We did Smooth Operator, which I thought was the one to do, but I'm glad that we didn't, because again, it doesn't lend itself to rock. The way, even when we do Smooth Operator, it's still a little more in that Sade vein, but I'd sing way better than her. But other,
I agree.
yeah, you guys just heard like my acoustic version. You're like, yeah, right, okay. No, but
You're a real soldier of love.
yeah. So Smooth Criminal just like fell in. You know what I mean? Just I remember them, just the guys playing the verse part. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that's gonna be the pick for if we're gonna do a cover that repetitively and we do more than one time. That was the one.
For sure. And then that got onto the American Pie 2 soundtrack, which was awesome. And what I wanted to bring up of people thinking it's early on, it's 20 years have passed and you guys are still ripping. You're putting out new music, 5 million records sold now.
Hey, if you hump a pie, are you a piedophile?
Close your ears, Biggie.
Biggie's thinking about that one.
But Biggie's probably humped a couple of pies, huh?
Yeah.
Biggie's humped everything at this point in the studio. So now I have to ask this because I was going through the albums and everything before you guys got here. Is there an ant pun in every single album title or only sub?
Always and Forever.
But that's kind of a pun, though. It's an acronym.
Yeah, AAF
always,
is always and forever.
So it's somehow in there.
Yeah.
So Truant, Anthology.
Greatest Hits was not. Up in the Attic was not.
Antic.
So
No, Up in the Attic
there's
was
only
not.
three of the six or whatever is.
Gotcha.
Is anthem.
And it's just when it jumps out at us. You know what I mean? Like, there's no rhyme
I
or
think
reason
mantras is the cleverest one, maybe, or just because you don't say mantra, you know what I mean? Unless you're from Louisiana and you're trying to get into yoga or something.
I got to do yoga on my yoga mantra.
Let's do the damn mantras.
I got a new mantra.
I've been watching the internet and I got the mantras on there.
Hey, man, I've been yodeling mantras all day.
So with the release of mantras, come on, Jesus Christ!
You just did it, Louisiana.
I did it, damn it! With the release of mantras, and now it's been 9 years since you guys have dropped a record, and the industry has significantly changed and the landscape of music. What have you guys taken away from this album cycle that with the rollout versus previous releases?
Well, we've got a lot of support from. Well, do we really want to? Well, just like I don't know that they are our label or not. We're in a situation that with a distribution deal, and how it's changed since the last one. I mean,
It's all.
I
it's
like
all for
it.
the gram.
I think it's cool because the thing is that you kind of are getting like, well, as a band, you're getting to like kind of showcase like certain songs, you know what I mean? Like a lot more on the record. I think in that aspect, it's really cool. So you're not just committed to one single that you push everything behind, and then having like, just every platform that you can to expose it all. I mean, I think that in that way, and then doing it like the rollout, it's all new to us, obviously, but I kind of like it, for this one, because I really didn't know how this all works, and as we were kind of getting prepped on it and all that, I thought, okay, but then as it's been going, it felt cool and fresh and exciting and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because with social media and everything, it's kind of what really, is what it's all about in a way. It's not like going and buying a CD anymore. It's
yeah,
just like
that's
you want to like see what your people are eating and stuff or whatever. But I think that when we were a young band, we would have killed for something like social media, and how rapidly, if you use it properly, you can get out there in the world. But now that we're older and have social media, like, there's almost something kind of charming about the classic way that might be missing nowadays in music.
I don't know how keen I am to the idea that your album is basically like a commercial to go and tour. You know what I mean? That it's just given out for free. And I'm not about trying to like make all the money I can, but I just feel like because the record is not like a tangible object, music is just in the air. I still don't think that it should just be like a free thing. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to just make this cool thing, but maybe that's the charm of it too, is like letting this like bird just fly out there and see what it does,
For sure. And now, are you seeing a difference? I don't know why I just thought of this, but are you seeing a difference between the Napster era versus the streaming era with music getting out?
I thought
Numbers.
Yeah.
You get to see the numbers.
Gotcha.
I thought
You
the
know what I
Napster
mean?
way was cool because just the hardcore nerds would be the ones that knew how to like rip music off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone savvy on the computer.
Yeah, that what a time that was.
Do it without destroying your computer.
Like my
It's
mom wasn't
novel
ripping
feat.
songs on Napster. You know what I mean? Just didn't know how to turn the thing on.
Oh, my dad was ripping songs off Napster. I
Oh.
remember coming in, and he was a cop, and the first song he downloaded off Napster was "Fuck the Police" because he used to apparently he used to blast it in his squad car when he was undercover all the time.
Oh man.
That's cool.
So fucking
I'm all
funny.
about LimeWire.
Ooh,
Yeah, I remember LimeWire.
LimeWire, cause I'm a lime.
Because I'm a lime.
that's where the interview just ends. So that's awesome. We got Kenny leaving the studio real quick, and I'm
Bye,
mugging
Kenny.
Biggie
See ya.
to make sure he doesn't.
Oh my God, they
leave.
killed Kenny.
You assholes.
So
Or it's bastards, huh? You bastards. Ah.
yeah, I think it's you bastards. So now with the release of the new record coming out, first album in 9 years, are you guys going to be doing mostly the new record on the tour, or kind of doing a little bit of the whole discography?
I think we're gonna do the whole discography. If we'll probably start mellow with mantras and maybe add a track as we go, maybe 2 or 3 in the beginning, and then as we progress, and just see how that record does. I mean, we'll probably add it out of our own boredom. It's not like if it does better than not that we won't add songs, but I think out of the gate right now we just recently did a show at the Whiskey that went off pretty well, and we did Fade and a song called So Cold, which we have those are the only 2 that are on music platforms right now, and song videos on YouTube for. So we've been adding those to the set.
That's awesome.
It's funny when, like, I guess it's kind of a good problem when you got a bunch of records out, and you wanna like touch on each one, so you can't, you got to be like kind
like
of
the same with kids.
Of it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's weird. Well,
And-
You have to
And,
write the perfect set
so-
list.
Well, the funny thing is it doesn't matter what the hell you do. Somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, they didn't do that."
I think about some of our contemporaries from when we started, and they've lapped us a few times on records. You know
So
what I mean?
many, yeah.
And so it's like got to be even crazier. Like when you think about all the the repertoire. Yeah.
So wild. I can't believe I didn't get an invite to the Whiskey show. I won't take it personally.
But pescado.
That's why we came here and played for you.
Oh, perfect. The private
Yeah.
performance to make up.
Yeah.
Oh man, God bless the Sunset Strip. The most rock and roll place in Los Angeles, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Man, we have a great history there too, because back when before we were signed or anything, we used to come out here to work because we're from Riverside, and it's just like you can play at home till your tits fall off, and you know what I mean. It just kind of gets old, and you see the same faces. You're not really making any progress, so we were just like, well, we got to start making bigger circles, and like obviously we want to get signed, bro. Like we need to play in Hollywood as much as possible. And like we played so friggin' much, I think any of us could have driven to Hollywood with our eyes closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but
So many parking tickets, man.
oh, everything, yeah, just late nights driving home, listening to like,
Oh yeah.
Art Bell and stuff. But what I was gonna say is I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh no, we kind of took an idea from Korn when they were a young band. They were selling out party buses from wherever they were in Huntington Beach at the time, I think. And they would they'd book a show, and then they'd rent like some
Charter buses.
that you can like rent to go to Vegas or whatever. And you
Hold
just,
about 50 people.
yeah, it holds 50, 55 people, and you can like just basically include your ticket into the ride. And it's a party bus, so sometimes you either let people bring their drinks on, or you even supply drinks.
We were
sometimes.
stocking it. We
Yeah.
were stocking our party buses up, so we got up to like 5-6 buses. We're
Yeah.
bringing. So a
In
lot
the
of these
end,
Hollywood clubs are like, who the
they
hell is this
loved us.
friggin' 909 band that's bringing like 300 people?
They loved us because we were at least good for 50 people.
That's so
Yeah,
sick.
one of our buddies, Dusty, too. He shot a porn on one of the buses coming home
Oh man.
because he was all into porn at the time. But that happened on there too. It was pretty wild. People loved it though. We did plenty of them. We did up to like 5 buses, and
Yeah,
back then
from different cities.
and you got to think about too that it was like we'd have to call like landline, you know what I mean, to call everybody and like kind of wrangle all this money.
And then meet at the ride share, whatever, just
Yeah.
it was a lot of involved in it with buying the booze.
It was a hustle, man.
Paying the drivers, tipping the drivers. It became so cool. I was jealous. All the stories of those bus days were like cooler than the show. I'm like, I'm riding in the bus on the way.
Oh
home.
yeah, that was
Run
fun.
home from the show. It was like you never knew what you were gonna get into.
Yeah, and we'd like kind of appoint for. We'd have like one person. We'd appoint like the kind of manager of each bus, so they
Yeah.
could ride for free and all that, and they just get all fucked up too,
Yeah.
and fucking
Yeah, our friend friggin' Joe.
everybody's
is the
smoking
manager of the
cigarettes and
bus.
weed on the bus. We're getting charged.